Our faith is bolstered.
There we go. Now you can hear. Wait.
Did you have to restart the soundboard?
No, so like if the stream PC uh resets itself, it'll automatically say that the Elgato 4K Pro capture card will go into like yellow, so to like disconnect itself. So you just gotta select off it and then select it again.
Okay. Right. I think we're gonna work on some wraith blades. Headless wraith blades, but wraith blades nonetheless. They are very fucking red.
What happened? Oh, so what happened? Apparently, because nobody could hear us talking. My PC decided to self restart and self update. So it crashed. It shut the stream. Well, it shut everything down because it shut the computer down and restarted itself.
Gotta love Windows, right?
Something like that.
PC's bad PC.
Yeah. This is the second time it's done it in 2 weeks, and it's been because the new updates. And I'm not overly happy about that. Because this shit shouldn't be affecting my stream PC because my stream PC isn't Windows 11, it's only Windows 10, so it should just be security updates.
Yep.
I think their
Yeah, because
purpose.
this one hasn't updated in fucking forever. And my one. Maybe it's Windows 10 as well.
I'm gonna actually open up settings and I'm gonna shut that off.
If anyone wants a really fucking vibrant red, get the red by Chimera. Fucking good paint. Single pigment red, and it's like scarlet red.
There, I got them paused for 30 days.
Well, that should hopefully keep your PC from randomly restarting for 30 days at least.
Fingers, toes crossed.
God damn it, that's gonna be in my head all fucking night now.
You're welcome.
Dude, have you seen all the fucking videos of the Scots in the States right
Yep, I sure have. It's gonna be a fucking bloody mess when they start clashing with the ice fucks soon.
Oh, brother, when fucking if they start with fucking Scots, they're in for a fucking shock. Especially if it's football folk.
Well, there's already been a whole host of people that were denied entry that spent like £20,000 just to get here and tickets and all
Mm-hmm.
that shit.
Yeah, the Scottish government got involved in that apparently
Yep.
to try and help fix it.
Yeah, that's not going to do any good because
No, probably not, but at least our government is trying to do something.
yeah, unfortunately, it's not going to fix it because it's just stupid. It's going to be the worst World Cup in history. I can I can already see that happening. Just because of how much of a petty bitch he is.
Hmm. I saw that. I think it was maybe FIFA actually came out. Did you see about the African referee?
Yep, the guy from
Yeah,
Somalia. Mm-hmm.
yeah. So they've already made him the referee ambassador for 2030 and paying him £200,000 in lieu of lost work. Um, Mainly out of respect for the fact that he didn't just run to the media and make it all about him being the center of the story and just
She
kind
had
of
every
kept
right
himself to
to.
himself. Yeah, he did. Fuck yeah, he did. 11 hours of questioning and then told he couldn't come into the country
Yeah, because
after being prior fucking.
he was given a diplomatic visa because
Yeah,
of our travel ban, or not ours, the Orange Idiots travel ban to the U.S. from Somalia.
yeah.
And the representative of the United States to the FIFA board or whatever was like, wow, we had evidence that he was speaking to some bad actors. So he posed a national security threat.
Mm-hmm. Sure he fucking did.
Well, yeah, what's he gonna do? Give half the U.S. squad red cards? They're not even gonna make it out of the round. The U.S. the men's team is such shit that they're not even gonna make it out of the round of 32. There's like a 2% chance that they make it past the round of 32.
I mean, even Scotland doesn't have a great chance of getting out of the group stages, but I'm pretty sure it's higher than 2%.
I think they're. I think the betting pool for the Scots is like 20% that they make it past the round of 32.
I mean, it would be nice. Not that I follow football in the slightest, but it would be nice to see.
Oh, I've got my Scottish national team scarf, dude.
Fuck
I'm not even rooting. I got my I got my Scotland flag that I'm gonna put on a fucking pole and wave around.
yeah.
I I'm not rooting for the U.S. squad. At one point, once upon a time, when like Lexi Lawless and those guys were playing, and even like in 2015 when we had a really good squad, I was I was cheering for him. But now, no, I got no respect for any of the guys that play on the U.S. national team.
The thing that gets me is that all the posts, and they have to be fucking rage bait. If they're not, then I'm sorry, but what the actual fuck of the fucking Americans saying, "Oh, we've got ultras like the fucking football hooligans and stuff," and they're showing videos of like almost as if they're a whole bunch of like a fucking cheer squad. It's like,
Oh no, that's not rage
really?
bait.
Really? You think that's going to intimidate
Yes,
Scots and English and European fucking football fans? Are you fucking for real?
yes, they do.
Oh, they've got another thing coming.
See the
Now,
prop.
bear in mind the thing with the Tartan Army will behave themselves until one person manages to find a bottle of Buckfast from somewhere and fucking decides that they're gonna be a hero. The English fans, however, they don't need an excuse. They
No.
will wreck the place just for shits and giggles.
Yep. And at this point, I'm rooting for them to do it because so one football here is not really hugely popular. It's a very small fan base of people that actually, and I'm sorry for all of you folk who cringe when the word football when it's called soccer, but we have we have our sort of equivalent to the Premier League. Technically, it's where all the Premier League pros, when they retire, come to play the Major League Soccer.
Mm-hmm.
Because my country does not put any kind of emphasis on football. Um, and it's just like when the Olympics come around and stuff like that. People will cheer for their favorite player from their favorite team, but they won't cheer for like the national team.
Yeah.
Um, so you'll get the people who can afford to go spend $10,000 for a ticket to come to a World Cup game that aren't there because they like the sport of football, and they aren't there because they actually follow the game. They're there because they're rich and it's trendy and something cool.
Yeah.
And the people you see doing those shitty cheers, yes, that's why they're doing those shitty cheers. Is because they know nothing about the sport. The real fans will be in the pubs
Yeah.
and doing
I've
the real cheers.
seen videos of the Scots already taking over the pubs in fucking Boston,
Yeah.
and it like the Boston locals are fucking loving it. That's
Yeah.
the thing. Like it's like a fucking party, and that's the whole thing with Scotland, and that's the whole fucking the I guess trope is the best word for Scotland is that the whole thing is no Scotland, no party. Like that's the whole point. They are there to have fun and have a party. We haven't had a World Cup probably for the lifespan of the majority of the people that are going to be there.
It's been over
So
30 years since you guys have been in the World Cup, right?
something like that, yeah, like 3 decades. Um, but like for the majority of the people that are out there, they've never seen Scotland in a World Cup ever.
Yeah.
So them being able to go out there and see their team, we don't care if we don't win. We don't care if we don't get past the fucking group stages. We are perfectly aware that we are not that team. However, we made it to a World Cup, and they are out there to support the team and to support anyone that plays against England,
Hmm.
and probably anyone that plays against the States. Now,
And probably anybody that plays against Israel.
yes.
Yeah.
So like we're there to party. We're there to have fun. It was the same when they were in fucking Germany for Euros and everything else. They were there for fun
Yep.
because fuck, we haven't got to a national fucking event like that. Like I said, for the last 30 years, Euros was the first time we actually made some sort of fucking move into something big, and now we've hit the World Cup. And like I said, they're there to party. They're not there to fucking cause trouble. Like I said, the Tartan Army is pretty well behaved. They are a good example of what football means in Scotland. They are not the Celtic and Rangers fans, although they will be there. They are not there in that capacity of hooliganism and stuff like that that would generally happen in a derby game in Scotland. But you test the Scots, and if they're drunk enough, they will push back. But like I said, the English are a completely different breed of
Yeah,
football fan. They will just fucking fight for the sake of fighting.
yeah, yeah. I'm well aware of that.
Like, Green Street may have been Hollywoodized, but it wasn't a joke. That shit happens here.
No, I know. I saw the documentary. That wasn't Hollywood was. I watched the documentary about it.
Oh, by Hollywoodized, I mean like getting Elijah Wood to come in and do the thing.
Oh
Like,
yeah, no. Netflix did a
yeah, the real Green
documentary about
Street.
it. Yeah. No, like the other thing too is the World Cup is meant to bring countries together. It's not meant to be a divisive. Hold on. Hold on a second, waste.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, talk about air tags.
No, you're good.
Um, but yeah, the whole point of a World Cup game is to bring nations together. And sure, there's going to be rivalries and people are going to get upset because emotions run high if their team loses to somebody else's team. It's not supposed to be like this. It's not supposed
No,
to show off the host country's might, for one. And for
no.
two, it's just not. It makes us look so stupid, so much more stupid than my country already does on the world stage. Like we're a joke.
The big problem is that they've put the English in Florida.
Yeah, and the French.
Yep.
Oh no, are
That
the French in Texas?
that was that was not a good idea. Let's put the English in one of the states that just so happens to be somehow constantly attributed to some sort of issue somewhere along the lines, be that Florida man or otherwise. Let's put the English there, where it's hot, where they've got too much that they can get access to drink, and arrogant Americans who aren't going to like being told that their team's shit by an Englishman.
Yeah.
At least the Scots are in Boston.
Yeah.
Boston and New Jersey, I believe,
Yes.
was Scotland. Yeah.
Well, technically, I think they're playing at um
MetLife, was it not?
it's either MetLife or at the place that the. Hold on, I'm gonna look where the Patriots play, which is technically outside of Boston.
Yeah. Because I remember seeing all the videos of the reports being like, You cannot walk to MetLife. And
Yeah.
basically, that guy that's walking the length of the US is like, hold my fucking beer. He's about to hit £1 million in donations for Scottish Action Against Mental Health,
That's
or
good.
Scottish Action for Mental Health.
Scotland versus Haiti, the 13th at Gillette Stadium,
Gillette.
Foxborough. So all of their games, or their first two games, are at Foxborough. They're playing Brazil on the 24th in Miami. Slovenia, they're playing. Oh, that's September. Okay, so their first three, or the three games that they're already scheduled to play in the group play is Boston Gillette Stadium, which is where you're talking about. He was talking about walking from Foxborough, which is just outside of Boston,
Yeah.
and then Miami Gardens, which surprisingly both of those fields, well, the Gillette Stadium's not an actual regular pitch, but the Miami Gardens one is a regular pitch because it is the MLS team's pitch. But
Did you see the one that the English team were forced to um, postpone?
yeah, after the rain came down today,
Yeah, and
yeah,
then
welcome to Florida.
25 minutes later they paused the game after an hour's delay on the start.
Mm-hmm.
Paused the game 25 minutes in to turn the sprinklers on
Yeah,
because the pitch was too dry.
yeah,
Yeah, the pitch that is literally laid down over concrete and sand
yep,
that the ball barely fucking bounces on.
yep.
Also, the Japanese have been moved twice, and one of the teams couldn't get visas to stay in the country for more than the day of their
Yeah, that's Iran.
allocated game. Yeah,
Yeah,
Iran. So they have to go to Mexico and travel in every time.
yep. They're staying in Tijuana.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, it's despicable and disgusting.
Yep.
Well, they use the Uzbek team and the Senegal team were stopped on the tarmac at the airport and spent 3 hours being searched, including cavity searches.
Wow. I
Yeah.
don't think there's ever been another World Cup where this kind of shit has happened.
One, in 2023, the under 20 World Cup. Forget which country off the top of my head. It's a country that had absolutely no diplomatic relationship with Israel and absolutely hated Israel and denied Israel's team entry to their country. And the FIFA board stepped in and said, "You will let them."
Countries like, no, the fuck we won't.
Oh, they did,
Bitches.
but you didn't hear them say anything about the Iranian team
Nope.
or step up for the man who was voted the continent's best referee in Africa because he's
Mm-hmm.
Somali.
Yeah.
You ask anybody, not anybody, but if, sorry, folks, we went down a political, well, geopolitical hole, but it's kind of important because we're at this point in history that with social media and the internet and everything that we can speak to each other across. This is 1932.
Yep.
The United States has become 1932 Germany. And And this time it's has nothing to do with Jewish people. It has everything to do with brown people, black people, Asian people, every
Anyone that's
people.
not white.
Yeah,
In fact, even white folk.
yeah, yeah. Um, it's 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 absolutely utterly disturbing the amount of repetitive history that we're in right now with if you draw a parallel or draw a line to Hitler's rise in power and the beginning of his dictatorship over Germany, and
Yep.
now Donald Trump's second term as president, he is proposing things almost exactly to the day, actually. And that's the scary part. He's proposing almost exactly to the day the same kind of things Hitler was proposing. Like when he proposed his giant arch to Trump,
Yep.
same day, same month that Hitler did in Germany.
Funny that.
Well, and the thing is, most people, not most of us smart people in this country, the vast majority of us that hate that man, um, listened when his first wife told everybody that he kept a copy of Mein Kampf next to his bed and read it every night.
Yep.
It's probably one of the only things he could read. Um,
And yet he'll be one of the first to be like, if it wasn't for America, you'd all be speaking German.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Except no, but anyway.
Yep.
uh, but the amount of hate that the amount of hate that we've exported to the rest of the world to hate people like Muslims again, because it was the English that started it. Well, technically speaking, it was the Italians that started it the first time with the Pope. But uh actually he was French, so fuck, it was the French's fault. Much like
It's always the
everything.
fucking French.
It's always the fucking French. Poke the bear and
That is
then
a
fucking run
joke.
and hide. Yeah, we like the French, as long as you're not French Canadian.
There you go.
Um, I'm gonna pop off a vape break since we're both sitting here.
Yep.
Uh,
Our faith is bolstered.
but look what's going on in Belfast right now. They are literally burning
Yep.
schools down.
They're burning people's houses down,
Yeah.
thinking that they're targeting people of a different color, but they're not. They hit the wrong fucking houses.
Yep.
They fucking decided they were gonna protest in Glasgow over the kid that got fucking stabbed and died.
Yep.
Like, what the fuck?
And it's because rich, old, white men tell you to hate somebody for no other
Yeah,
reason than their own xenophobia.
but yet they won't protest when a white person stabs another person or a person of color, or when there's a white person that commits an act of sexual assault or any of that kind of shit. No, where's the protest then? There isn't any.
No, because they
It's
don't
only
care.
when it's no. It's only when it's someone that's a different fucking skin color,
Yep.
and it's fucking sickening.
Here's the thing is, people like Nigel and all of his ilk, and the people like Donnie and all of his ilk, and the Manosphere, they hate women, and they hate
Yep.
women because they won't date them. They're not.
Yep.
They're not attracted to them. Their whole life that they lived in the 70s and 80s and early 90s was drug fueled party fueled rape culture.
Yep.
And
that got bred into the new culture.
well,
And they carried it on with the manosphere.
And we got tired of it and said, no more. This is not okay. It's not acceptable. Like,
yep.
You can't behave this way. And that's the time in history that they want to go back to, is that kind of stuff. When you hear people say stupid stuff like, oh, I can't even say edgy jokes anymore. No, what you mean is, or what you're saying is, you can't be openly racist anymore.
Yeah, that's exactly all it is. It's just that they can't be racist. And that's the one thing that I'm quite proud of the Scottish government for. Like, I've said it before, and I will say it until I'm blue in the face. I am in Scotland, in the UK, politically homeless. Outside of the Greens being a potential good for the country as a whole, UK and Scotland, like I'm not like a member of any political party. I'm not gonna toe the line for a political party when there's no clear agenda on how to fix it. But in the instance of the Scottish government, they have been, and it's not this whole gerrymandering, fucking keeping up appearances that Mr. Stammer does at Prime Minister's questions or any other time that they're in Parliament where he goes after Nigel or any of the rest of his ilk. It's the one of the Scottish Greens asked the question of the First Minister about comments that had been made by a member of the Reform Party in Scotland that had actually attended that protest in Glasgow and said he would again, and made some very, very vile comments. And the First Minister roasted the fucking Reform Party, roasted them like it was a character assassination, and the Reform Party just didn't know what the fuck to say back. They didn't even challenge it. They sat there and just looked like they were getting scolded by a teacher. Like they didn't know what the fuck to say. And that is the one upside that the Scottish government has, is we do not tolerate that shit. And for a sitting member of parliament, a democratically elected member, I say elected loosely, they weren't actually elected. They got in off of um vote count after the main count was done. So it's proportional votes, where basically second place get a seat in a certain amount of areas to fulfill the government. So they didn't win any seats. They were given seats out of proportional voting. But for a quote unquote elected member of government to be attending protests like that and speaking and making comments the way that he did, it just shouldn't stand. They should be ejected from their seat and their parliamentary role immediately. Unfortunately, we don't have the power to do that, but it was made clear by the First Minister of Scotland that they will not tolerate it, and they will call it out at every single opportunity. It's just vile behavior, especially from an official that's sitting in government.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not. Obviously, there is an element of performative politics in the SNP because they are fucking politicians at the end of the day. But like, there's a lot less of the gerrymandering and the trying to keep up appearances. They will generally act upon what they say they're going to.
Yeah.
It's a far cry from fucking UK government.
Well, we can tie it all into our hobby too. There's a reason why aliens are called Xenos.
Yep. There is indeed. But yeah, it's just a fucking mess right now, dude. Like everywhere is a fucking mess.
Mm-hmm.
The world is on fucking fire, physically and metaphorically, and no one's doing anything to stop it. No one's doing anything to put the fucking fires out.
No, because it doesn't directly affect them yet.
Nope. But when it does, they'll be like,
It'll be
well,
too
why the
late.
fuck have we not done something? It's like, well, you're too fucking late, and we told you fucking when it all kicked off.
Yep.
Like, in Scotland, when you move to Scotland as an immigrant or otherwise, I say immigrant, as an immigrant or expat, I hate that fucking term because you're still an immigrant. But whether it's professional, whether it's fleeing war, whatever, no matter how you come into Scotland, the moment you become part of Scottish society, you are called a new Scot. You're not an immigrant, you are a new Scot. That is how we have always seen it because we have got such a vast array of cultures throughout our country that we accept people, generally speaking, with open arms. We are an aging population. Without immigration, we are fucked.
No, no, no. Just need to have more kids have babies.
Hmm. Well, if you're going to be listening to Mr. Farage, they're going to force it by
Yep.
taxing people who don't have kids.
Yep.
They're also going to take away women's rights.
Yep.
They're going to take us out of the European Convention of Human Rights. They're going
Yeah.
to cut maternity leave. So, in other words, if you vote reform and you weren't aware of all of this, time to fucking read up. And by the time the next election comes around, figure your shit out. Like, it the pulling the wool over everyone's eyes is fucking insane, the power that they have to do that shit. I shall have a look in just a second, Pete. Let me just get this little bit of black work filled in.
It's not that they're pulling the wool over everybody's eyes. It's the same thing that happened here with Trump. No, he didn't pull the wool over anybody's eyes. They knew exactly. We told them exactly what he was going to do. They didn't care.
The thing is that over here we have had a couple people who will go out into the streets acting as if they are representatives for reform, dressed in the fucking butcher's apron and everything, and they will speak to the public. And they will say, oh, have you looked at the rest of the manifesto? And they'll say, no, not really. And they'll start telling them
Yeah,
what's in the
I've seen the video. Yeah,
manifesto. And they'll be like, sorry, what?
yeah,
And we're like, yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen.
yep, I've seen it. But they're not willing to see because they don't think the Scotland different story or the UK different story, but in the US, all the people that voted for Trump, they knew exactly what he was going to do. They just didn't care because they thought they were safe.
Yeah. Yep.
That's the problem. Is they think they're safe because they voted for him. They think they're safe from his crazed shit.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Because the mad thing here as well is that like the ones that are looking good, dude, Yeah,
take a look
I
at that.
agree with Wolf that that was the best choice for the two folk to go with it. Now that looks awesome.
I'll take a look
That'll
and
look
see.
great with some paint on.
Trying to get the see if I can get the pauldron and the cape together to
Um,
be one.
yeah, the ones that are out in the street screaming and shouting and all the gammons that are red in the face while they're fucking screaming at hotels and fucking protesting. I say protesting. They're not protesting.
They're rioting.
Yeah, they're rioting for the sake of rioting. They are the
Nice.
people who are not educated enough to be able to accept anything that you tell them. Very much like what MAGA are, right?
Yeah.
The people that aren't out screaming at hotels that are quietly just voting reform, they're the ones that we need to be targeting because they're the aging population. They're the people that grew up on council estates and have listened to how their parents have voted all their life and all the rest of it. And they're the people that we need to get a hold of and be like, look at what they're going to fucking do. Like, go real term. Like, what are you going to do if you have a family, your wife gets pregnant, you have the kid, and you're not allowed to take paternity leave, but your wife has postpartum depression? What do you do? Because she's not working, you're not going to be working because you've got to be home to help look after the baby and your wife, and the NHS is going to be private, so you're not going to be able to pay for your health care. You're going to be paying through the nose for having a baby. You're going to be paying through the nose for any sort of treatment for anything from mental health to post birth health care. God forbid that, you know, you need to get a C, or your wife needs to get a C section. God forbid that you end up with the baby or the wife getting an infection, much like what happened with Heather and Aelith, and you're stuck in a hospital for a week while they're treating that, and you've got to then pay for that and deal with the fact that you have to be at work or else there's no money coming into the household. The benefit system has been completely fucking collapsed and you're getting absolutely fuck all money from them. So what do you do then? And the human rights where your maternity leave lasts next to no fucking time at all, and your wife has to go back to work, but she's chronically depressed and cannot connect with the child and becomes suicidal because she's had to go back to work. And what do you do then? What, like, that's the questions that you need to be asking these people who live in these council estates, because they won't be able to answer. And that's when the realization kicks in. That's when they're like, oh shit, that's real term shit. That's not fucking, oh, we'll make it through. That's a, oh fuck moment.
No, that's a well. It wouldn't be shit if the immigrants weren't getting millions of dollars a year.
Okay, so if the immigrants weren't getting millions of dollars a year and weren't working in hospitals as cleaners or weren't working in the fucking janitorial spaces, they weren't doing fucking menial jobs that you think that are below you to go and do while you're on benefits. What are you going to do then when there's nobody to run the hospital, when we've got a severe lack of doctors already as it is, or when your mum or dad have to go into care and there's no one to care for them? What are you going to do then?
That's a logical question that has absolutely no logical answer in those people's minds. They don't
Nope.
think past that. They don't think
Nope.
past themselves. They don't think past what they heard somebody say on TV. And the reason they can't get a higher paying job is because millions of illegal workers are stealing their high paying jobs.
Yeah,
They're
of
not
course
getting
they are.
only immigrants are getting all the benefits and nobody else is. Only the lazy people are getting benefits. They should be able to work. The thing is, their whole there's a reason why the Reform Party and the MAGA Party exists. And it's because we've we've sown division so much in society because all of them, no matter which side of the aisle they sit on, are getting rich off of industry because
Yep.
capitalism is poison.
Yep.
There is no such thing as a free market anymore. There's literally 12 companies that own everything in the world. Elon Musk's company that he merged SpaceX with Twitter is about to become an IPO. I think tomorrow it goes live. Valued at $1 trillion.
Yep.
Shares are going to start at $136 a piece. It is going to be the biggest pump and dump in stock market history. And it's
Oh, of
going to
course it
crash the
is.
market.
Yep. But they wanted to
Because,
crash the market because they'll invest before it fucking crashes, sell just before it crashes, and then they'll make a shitload of money while everyone else suffers.
yeah, but what does your money buy you when money isn't worth anything?
Nothing. But they've got it. That's the thing, is it's not about what the money can buy, it's about whether they have it or not. It's about the status of being the richest person in the world.
Yeah, and he's about to be the first trillionaire ever in history.
Yep. And they wonder why we want to compost the rich.
Well, and he's the one who's stirring all this shit up in Belfast and everywhere.
Yep. And he's got fucking Conor McGregor being the mouthpiece for it.
Yeah. So an Irishman is
Because
being controlled by an
he's
immigrant who's not even
yep.
really an immigrant because he doesn't live in Ireland. And even if he
Nope.
did live in Ireland, he sure as shit wouldn't live in Belfast.
Nope. No, he'd have a big manor house and own a shitload of land in the countryside and stop everyone else from being able to use it.
Yeah.
Like that's the problem, is it would be real estate. It would be even more equity to hold. And that's what the people on the right just do not see. The people who vote for these fucking idiots and tyrants and fucking the ones that are all funded by these billionaires and soon to be trillionaires. Like what what good are they going to do you? They're not. There is nothing that they will do that will benefit you in the slightest. And I know that we don't exactly have the followings to make a difference with these conversations, but these are the kinds of conversations that people with platforms, whether they're big or small, need to be having far more regularly, so that people can actually hear the real world conversation and the real world consequences of letting these people have power. But not enough people will fucking say anything because they're worried that they're gonna end up fucking losing their fucking income because they're gonna lose half of the people that sit there and fucking watch their videos or listen to them.
Mm-hmm.
And not enough people are like good fucking riddance. If you can't hear what the fuck I'm saying, then don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out. Like I just do not understand. Like we have monetized everything, and TikTok was probably the final nail in the coffin for social media in terms of now everyone can make money from nothing, or at least think they can make money from nothing. That they think that because they've got a couple thousand followers and they can get into the creator program that it means anything, and they can make their money and not realize that even though it's a side hustle, they're still going to have to pay tax on it. They're still gonna end up getting fucked over if they're working a job already, and the HMRC find out that they've got taxable income that they're not declaring, or anything else. These billionaires aren't gonna come save them then. The viewers aren't going to keep coming back if you end up getting in trouble with the HMRC and you start asking them for more money so that you can fix a fucking tax bill. They'll just stop. And then the money dries up and then you're fucked. There's no one there to come fucking save you at that point. You're not going to become the next Elon Musk on fucking TikTok.
No. This seam is absolutely atrocious. Look at that.
Ooh.
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this like this so I can snap him in once it's done.
Yep.
But I think I'm not gonna try to pinch this together because it's just gonna look like ass. I'm just gonna put sprue glue in between it and
I was gonna say over glue it and then
I'll just put a bead of sprue glue in here. Get it to stick to it, and then once it's dry, I'll scrape it into shape. It's just atrocious, man.
Gator says social media has led to the situation that we're currently in with content creators thinking they matter more than they actually do. Yeah.
Yep.
That's one of the biggest downfalls that we're going to see is we're going to see a population of content creators who think that they are the shit that turn around when all of that dries up because the next big fucking creators come out and now they're getting zero attention, and the only thing they can do to keep any attention is to foster what?
I meant to get the sprue glue out first, but I put glue on this already. Fuck.
It'll be fine. Just put a thin layer over the top and then scrape it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing they can do is then cause drama with the other fucking content creator that doesn't want to partner with them because they're like, why the fuck would I do anything with you? And it's like, well, what the fuck? You're just gonna end up going around in circles, and you will have your 5 minutes of fame and disappear. One of the most true statements I read was on Reddit about 10 years ago, and the topic was something to the effect of, what is the biggest lie the internet ever created? The top comment, that everyone's opinion matters equally regardless of background, education, etc. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Pete said he's going to paint it after he decides on a paint scheme. Nice. What you thinking paint scheme wise, Pete? Yeah, like the internet wasn't created the way that we've been led to believe, in that they wanted to give us access to everything so that we had all knowledge at our fingertips. It was there to distract us. That's all it is. It's just so that we've got things to look at while they do shit in the background. That's all it is. Whether it's, I'm not saying go away and don't fucking come and watch us, because fuck me, just come watch us. We're not doing this for the money. We're doing this to entertain and because we're painting anyway. But shit like this, where you've got people doing something that is of an interest to everyone else, you're just sitting there watching. We're basically a fucking live streamed reality TV show of your fucking curated hobbies and interests, whether that's gaming, painting, just chatting, art, etc. Well, the initial intent of the internet was communication, information storage, and access, but we've devolved to what it is now. Yeah.
Yeah.
It started out as forums and people sharing photos of holidays that they've had and places they've been and things that they've seen and things like that. And now it's just a fucking cesspool.
Mm-hmm.
And I apologize that we got on our soapbox, but I mean, yeah, before that it was, yeah, more before that, I get that, yeah. But like, fuck, dude, when the internet came out over here fuck, I remember YouTube becoming a thing. I remember before fucking Google and sitting on dial-up internet where if you wanted to use the internet, you had to sacrifice the phone line, and if your mom wanted to make a phone call, then you had to get the fuck off the internet.
Yep.
But like, yeah, no, I get what you mean. It's simpler times
Purple.
before
Do
we
purple.
all had
Purple.
before we even had access to having a microcomputer in our pockets. Like just before that, where it was difficult to even access the internet freely, was a much simpler time. I don't want to do the artwork of the picture.
Yeah, do purple.
Think
Be right
I
back.
did, but yeah, purple. Definitely purple. I vote purple. Yeah, no, same dude. Not everyone had a computer. Like, shit, we didn't have a computer for a fucking long time. First computer we had in the house was purely just my dad's fucking workstation that he kept all the fucking books for his work on. That was it. It didn't have access to the internet. And that thing was so old that you pulled the keyboard out from underneath the fucking PC tower. Like it was connected to it. First computer we ever got was like 99, 2000. Yeah, I'd probably been roughly about the same sort of time. First time Peter used a used a computer was at high school, year 7, so about 11.
Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
back.
No, you're good.
Yeah, I texted my dad an hour and 10 minutes ago. He still hasn't texted back or even read the text message.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, it probably would have been about 98, 99 for me because I remember playing Doom, and it was an older computer that we got. It wasn't like a brand new one because it was still running Windows 95 before 98 came out.
My first
And my
computer.
dad got an illicit copy of 98 and a fucking knockoff key that worked in the PC to fucking boot it.
Yeah, my first computer was a Gateway 2000. Like 97? Yeah, 97. Windows 95, baby.
Mm-hmm.
And then Windows 98. But yeah.
Yeah, I remember 98 being out when we got our PC, but we didn't. It was 95 that we were running.
Yeah, I played NHL 97. I played Bioshock, Quake 1, 2, and 3. Diablo, the first one. Warcraft, not World of Warcraft, Warcraft. Command and Conquer, Red Alert. Dune 2000. Duke
Yeah, I
Nukem,
I
all
was
that
about to
stuff.
say I
Wolfenstein.
explicitly remember playing old old Return to Castle Wolfenstein,
Mm-hmm.
Wolfenstein 3D, Duke Nukem 1 and 2 before 3D came out, and then 3D on later PC. Um, original Doom 1, Doom 2, And pretty much all of them were on floppy disk. Lemmings.
Technically, then you got Gators. Then they got a compact. Technically speaking, my very first computer was a Commodore 64.
Yeah, I was saying the first computer we had in the house was so old that you pulled the fucking keyboard out from inside the tower. Like the tower, the screen, and the keyboard were all one thing, and the keyboard slid out from underneath. And it was mainly just for like accounting stuff. Like my dad had the shop, so it was he did all his books and everything on it. You couldn't play games or anything on it. It was literally just a PC with a software to run the books for the shop, and that was it. And then we got a 95 PC.
Yeah, I still have my old school Commodore 64. I think I still have the floppy disk drive and the keyboard. Actually,
There was I think it was actually a Commodore that was sitting in CEX, kind of like what's the fucking game shop that you can go in and trade all your games in the States? GameStop.
oh,
Kind of
GameStop.
like
Yeah,
that. Yeah, kind of like that, but you can trade in basically anything. They've started carrying Warhammer now.
yeah. It's called Disc Replay here.
Yeah, so basically that you get
It's the new
DVDs,
store. Yeah,
CDs,
I think a lot of
fucking
GameStops are going out of business.
phones, and yeah, like you can trade basically anything in to that place
Yep.
and get some sort of ridiculous undervalued fucking payment for it.
Yeah, I had a ticket at a store next to one. That's where I bought my um oh, what's he called? My Wampa.
Ah, you're one.
This guy. That big fucker.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shit, I remember when the keyboard, tower, and monitor were all one piece. Yup. I remember my granny I say inherited, was given a PC by my auntie, or technically my great aunt, thinking that we, like me and my cousins in the summer, would be able to play games on it. That thing wasn't a 3.5 inch floppy, it was the fucking 7.5 inch floppies that were fucking like pushing it back into like the PC and hoping that the thing didn't flex and snap. Plugged that thing in, switched it on at the wall, and the thing went bang. Gator said, nah, but back to social media ruining everything. The fact that any idiot can get people to like them and get their own personal soapbox to spew the vitriol, and this goes for any stance, and people listen. And that's the thing, right? People need to do their own research. That's the joy of the internet.
God, I hate
But you
that
need to look in the right fucking places. Like you can sit there and spew out your stance and stand on your soapbox, but people have the capacity to go and do their own research. And that's just something that they just don't want to fucking do, is go and do their own fucking research.
Can we call that something different? Because that's literally like the claim of all the fucking anti-vaxxer fucking flat earthers. Do your research.
Yeah, I will do my research and I will come back and prove you even more fucking wrong.
Again,
But yes.
2026, and there's still people that believe the earth is flat.
Yep.
Go jump off the edge of the world for us, would you? The fact that they believe that the Earth is flat, yet understand or can't stand somebody else's religion, and we're at a war with another country over oil, and you think the world's governments are keeping it a secret, is the most asinine, ass backwards, fucking dumbest shit on the planet. Like, I
Yep.
just don't get their stupidity. Duh. Jesus, he's got so many chains and ribbons.
Gator said that was what I was about to bring up. Is it research or is it research?
Yeah, exactly. I watched this YouTube video of a guy. Like, I love watching I love watching the videos of those idiots proving themselves wrong and proving that the Earth is a sphere.
Yep.
Well, we did the math, and if technically the Earth rotated X amount of distance and X amount of time, it would rotate on a 15-degree axis. And to measure this, they have these really super accurate tools called laser gyros. That if the Earth moved this far in an hour, it should be 15 degrees different.
And then it's 15
Day,
degrees
yeah,
different.
1 day later. And we noticed that like every hour it was on a 15-degree different axis. So instead of taking that, we thought, maybe something's off with this. Mind you, they spent $15,000 on this thing. We put it in a hyperbaric chamber because we thought maybe it was the magnetic pole or the stars were throwing it off. So we put it in a hyperbaric chamber and did the same experiment, and the results were the same. But I'm not convinced the Earth isn't flat.
And we wonder why our libraries are closing.
It's just. I don't get it. If the Earth's rotating at 27,000 miles per hour and you fly from, why does it take you 5 hours to fly from Chicago to California? You should just be able to go straight up and come straight back down in less than a second. That's not how it works. Because if that's how it worked, I could jump and be on the other side of the world. So in a way, I miss when the internet didn't exist because there wasn't all these crazy, idiotic, stupid people screaming
I
into
mean,
the
there
void.
were. They just didn't have the capacity to say or do anything about it, except stand on a corner with a sign saying the end is nigh. Like, take me back to the hippie days.
That's the problem. All the people in charge that are racist, crazy, wacko assholes were from that time.
Yeah, they
Just
just
the
weren't the
cool
ones
people all
smoking
died
fucking
of
reefer.
yeah. The cool people all died of drug overdoses.
Yep. Let's
Yeah,
see.
it's a long one. I read through
In
it already.
Yeah, in 2020, after the George Floyd shit, there was a musician that I followed, and obviously, with everything closed, they were doing a lot of videos of them on their couch playing music, what you would expect, right? So they had a pretty cult following, and the number of people asking them why they weren't using their platform for good was outrageous, and I'll never forget the response. Because we're musicians, people like us for our music, not our political opinions. Yeah, but it and
Musicians
take
have
this
been
with a grain of
political
salt.
since the dawn of time.
Yeah, I was going to say take this with a grain of salt. The punk revolution was real for a reason.
Same thing with acid
Like,
rock.
yeah, I understand that there are certain genres of music that just will refuse point blank to accept any sort of political stance. But there are definitely, in the circles that I'm in anyway, the style of music that I listen to is generally all political. But then I
Like it's
listen to bands like Enter Shikari and Billy Talent for a reason.
yeah, and
To
and
name
it's
two.
perfectly okay to take that stance. Nobody says, yeah, alternate. And again, well, here's the thing though, country music, a very very well or not well, a very unknown misconception about outlaw country music. This outlaw country music was literally the antithesis of stick it to the man. Like people like Johnny Cash and Waylon Jennings and Willie Nelson, Chris Christopherson, uh, Hank Williams Sr., uh, Buddy Holly, all of those guys were straight up anti hate, anti racism, anti establishment. Like, yeah, he was. Hank Williams Sr., before he died of an overdose of heroin in his Cadillac, oh, yeah, he was outlaw country. He wouldn't be considered
Outlaw.
outlaw country now, but back then in the 50s, yeah, absolutely. Senior traveled around with Johnny Cash and Buddy Holly and oh god, what's his name? Blah, 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 blah. The other guy that died in the plane crash with Buddy Holly, La Bamba.
Shit.
Wait, no, that wasn't at the same time. Never mind. Even technically speaking, even yeah, Richie Valens. Thank you. Even like people like John Denver were considered outlaw country. Yeah, there is a specific style now, but they were in the same group and same genre. Like I said, Waylon Jennings.
See, country outside of the likes of maybe Johnny Cash and a few of the other big names didn't really take an impact over here as much as they did out there. So that's a genre that's a little out my wheelhouse. But I will say the video that I saw recently of fucking one of the Ramones that's left, fucking standing there about to knock the shit out of fucking Johnny Rotten was
Good.
fucking beautiful. They were on a panel and fucking Johnny, I don't even like using his stage name, but it also makes me feel ill to say his fucking real name. He was spouting his fucking mouth off about how they were the real ones and this, that, and the next thing, and that everyone else was a front, and that the Ramones were just fucking riding off the coattails of this, that, and the next fucking band, and that fucking American punk wasn't real punk, and this,
Oh
that,
yeah,
and whatever
that was a
else he
thing
could fucking
forever.
say. Yeah, and fucking whatever Ramona it was
George
turned
Jones,
round,
absolutely outlaw country.
and was like fucking right in his face, like say something else, I fucking dare you type shit. I was fucking beautiful. I really wish he'd have fucking hit him.
Yeah, I would absolutely. Why is it flag that? Yeah, I don't, because it can be considered as uh, a racial slur. That's auto. That's auto. I don't have any specific words flagged, so it auto flagged it itself. I have no control over that one. Be right back.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I would comment, but country really is not my not my scene. Yeah, I spent my teens listening to post-hardcore and fucking emo and punk and that kinds of music. Still do. Like I was anti-establishment through and through, and it was not fucking phase. Yeah, I was brought into the scene by someone who was into the early days of post-hardcore before it picked up the emo tag. But like, yeah, it would have been probably about. I mean, I was listening to bands like fucking OPM and stuff like that at about age 11, but it would have been probably when I was about 15 that I really got into the post-hardcore scene and then the emo scene and into modern takes on both. We can sat there listening to Thursday at the drive-in, fucking all those the older early days guys. 36 Crazy Fists.
Yep. Okay. Sorry, I'm back.
Yep. But yeah, no, like that was my jam back in the day.
As long as it wasn't Nirvana, it's okay.
Dude. You know I listened to Nirvana.
Yeah, but the best thing that came out of Nirvana was Dave Grohl.
Yeah.
You know I
It was
hate
still
Nirvana.
Courtney.
What?
It was still Courtney that did it.
Oh yeah, she killed him. Oren told you the other day they're reopening the investigation into it, right?
Yeah. No, we sat and watched a whole fucking a whole ass long fucking video about it not long ago.
Dark,
Talking about how
dark purple
Courtney had go dark and bring it up to light on your accent areas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, talking about how Courtney had been speaking to folk from another band and basically offered them a shitload of money, and then the person disappeared. There's a
Shocker.
whole load of fucking holes in that whole thing.
Well, the original documentary they did like 3 or 4 years ago on Netflix, I think it was, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because they had what the boy's name that was a guitar player, and then a bunch of his friends were like talking about
Kurt
how the
Novoselic.
yeah
Yeah.
and a bunch of his friends that were like he hadn't been to that house in ages. There's no reason for him to be in the top of the garage. Like the lighter being there was weird because he'd stopped doing. Oh, ad starts in 2 seconds.
Pete, I mean, in like, do the majority of the model in dark purple, and then if you've got an accent color, do it in light purple. Yeah, no, there's a whole fucking load of holes in it. Like the they they were talking about the lethal dose and how tolerance affects what would be considered the lethal dose, and with how actively he was fucking using things like heroin and opioids, that the lethal dose may not have been the lethal dose. They'd been analyzing the handwriting on the note. It wasn't written like a suicide letter, it was written like a letter of him saying goodbye to the music industry, and then that very last bit didn't look like it matched his writing, because if he even if it wasn't a lethal dose, he would have been too out of it to have added that bit at the end where he was writing to Francis. Like it looked like it was either forced, like it was his handwriting, but it looked like you could have said it would have been forced. Also, I'm pretty sure both arms were injected, and if he was high, there's no fucking way he would have been able to find a vein on
And
his
there's
other arm.
no way that he would have been able to hold a shotgun.
No, not a fucking chance. And I'm pretty sure they tested him for gunshot residue, and there was none on his hands.
Yeah. And the investigators chalked it up to his hand being too far away from the actual barrel,
Yeah,
the way that he allegedly did it or whatever. It just doesn't make sense. And yeah, the fact that he was insisting on stepping away from the music industry and uh the his disdain for the way it was.
yeah. Like he really didn't fucking like what the music industry had become. He really didn't like the way that the labels were treating artists, and he just lost all the passion for it. Fucking Smells Like Teen Spirit was his most hated song. He absolutely fucking hated it.
It's a fucking song about deodorant, god damn it.
Yep. Um it was a thing written on the wall. Like he wrote it on the wall and someone thought that it was like fucking this really deep quote, and he was like, no, it was fucking deodorant or something stupid like that. Pete, for which part are you talking about? Like their shirts, or like the red on the cannon and stuff? Like the red on the cannon front on the barricade bit at the front, you could go purple there for sure. The when I say like accent areas, like you could do the bulk of that front end of the cannon in dark red, in dark purple, and then you could do their clothing in like a lighter purple or like a middle tone purple, um, rather than going all the same tone of purple. So just like if you use a darker one, use a lighter one for areas to catch a little bit of visual interest, so that it doesn't all just blend in one color. Right. I'm gonna paint in this Spirit Stone, and then I'm gonna have to probably call it a night because it's
Yeah.
3:15. I say paint in blackout. There's a bit that I missed.
You've been live almost all day anyway.
Since about 7:30, yep. With that little break in the middle between lives, but
Just finishing snipping out some bits. I'm gonna have to get the liquid mask out and start masking off a bunch of stuff. Need to stop in and talk to a tattoo artist.
yeah. Which one for the Valkyrie?
No, I still haven't had anybody draw it yet. I want to see if it's possible to black out part of my arm, and then can you go over it with white ink? Will
Yeah,
the
you
white,
can.
can you?
Yep.
Um,
That's a big thing just now where people have had black work done and they want to go and have something over it, or instead of getting a cover up, because a lot of stuff is really hard to cover up, they'll just get black work done, and then they'll get white art put over the top. The white might dissipate and it might need touched up more frequently, but the white will show.
well, then if that's what they're doing, I'm gonna turn, because the cover up on my right bicep would look absolutely atrocious. So I'm gonna have my whole right arm from my shoulder down turn into a pauldron of Corvus Corax, and have
Nice.
the white raven put over top of it.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that I've seen has been a lot of like white line art.
Yeah.
Put over the top of a blackout. So I don't know about filling it in. I would imagine if the line art shows that a fill in over black with white should work. Um, like I don't see why it wouldn't. Um, but yeah, speak to the artist. As long as you can find an artist that's willing to do it, it should show up. As long as they get a strong enough pigment white ink.
Yeah.
Black work sucks though, from what I've heard. Like getting your arm blacked out will fucking suck.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt because it's just massive shade.
Yeah, it's just massive shading needles.
Yeah.
That will not be a pleasant experience.
Probably not,
A lot of the stuff that I've seen have been like people that have had a full fucking sleeve of black work done, and then they'll go and get like the line work for mandalas and stuff put in over the top, and it looks really fucking cool.
Well, we are talking about like from the top of my shoulder. Well, I'll have the outline on the top, like around it, red.
Yeah.
But and like half of my bicep all the way around, like a pauldron.
Yeah. Yeah, that should be doable.
Welcome back. Meds are good. Yeah, we're you came back just as we are getting ready to call it because it's 3 a.m. for Mr. Wasteland there, and it's
Mm-hmm.
getting late here. 10 p.m. for me. I still got showered and stuff. So, thank you all for hanging out. It's good to see you. If you aren't already following Wasteland, go give him a follow. But I'm pretty sure everybody's following everybody.
Yes, indeed.
Otherwise, we will catch you not next Tuesday. We won't be back next Tuesday.
Well,
Waste might
no,
be.
because you're away.
Yeah, I won't be though.
I might try and run something. We'll see.
But yeah,
Maybe
I
run a
have
solo
to
one.
drive to the farthest part of the state, to the Upper Peninsula, on Tuesday for work. So, but we will be back next Thursday for sure. And then we're both on vacation for a week. So,
Yep. Yeah, there'll be no streams week after next.
I will probably be live tomorrow night, Saturday night, playing video games. Maybe if I can drag this man over to play some video games with us.
I'll see what I can do. I don't think we've got anything planned for the weekend.
I have absolutely nothing planned for this weekend. So, we may do an impromptu one too, like on Saturday or Sunday or something, if both of us are up for it during the day.
Mm-hmm.
So, bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.